The new Nissan Navara, proudly built in South Africa too, and that's a very important factor. Launched a month or two back, and I was on the launch drive, but we drove the mid-spec versions on that drive. This is the top spec. They call it the PRo-2X. Now, have a look. You've got this massive, mean black grille over here. Note, of course, the Nissan in red. And also the red over here, down at the bottom of the bumpers. Got all these sort of neat touches to tell you it's the top model. For some reason, note that all vehicles lately have red touches to show top models. You got, look at these projector headlamps over here. Very, very interesting pattern of the 4 over there, which is a Nissan Signal and a Nissan Standard. And then, of course, daytime running lights across the top over there as well. Little fog lights down at the bottom. Come round to the side, and again, notice the red flash. Of course, I've got to show that to you straight away. Nice black mag, 17 inches over there. And yet again, the red Nissan Legend. Very, very clear. Come along over here. This vehicle in black looks very good when it isn't full of dust. But for farm life, I don't know about a black bucky. Maybe white, the standard stock white would work better for farm life. But that's something only you can decide. Nice, good, strong running board over here, which is important always. And roof racks as well on top, just to complete the look. Come along, you've got pretty wide opening back doors, loaded up as you can see. We'll look in the inside later on, don't worry about that. But good space in the back seat. Let's just leave it there. Then, of course, look here. This is what is important. I said to you it's the PRo-2X spec, but this is the PRo-2X. In other words, it's rear-wheel drive. Now, interesting comparison, because on the launch I drove the lowest spec, but with 4-wheel drive. And it handled a trip up a mountain and did all kinds of things. This one, 2-wheel drive, still does an exceptionally good job on dirt roads. But obviously you're not going to go mountaineering or rock climbing or anything like that in it. Always a choice only you can make. Do you want to spend the extra money on the 4-wheel drive or don't you? Extra money and going to use a little bit more fuel along the way as well. Very significant. You can see the rear end, nice big tow bar over there, good step over here, which is always important. And drop the tailgate. Let's have a look. Step up. It's a pretty large load buck, obviously rated for about a ton. And look at this, you can see it's been pre-fitted for possibly a roll top or a tonneau or anything you want, but these certainly are strong units over here to tie a load down or to hold a load down. High rear brake light important. And this is an interesting little feature. This little window over here can open and close electrically from a button under the steering wheel on the fascia. So you can, if you want, although you've got dual zone air conditioning, very easy if you want to open that little window for ventilation, or not saying you should carry passengers in the back, but if you do, you can talk to them. But I didn't say that. But overall, you can see, proudly built in South Africa, as I said. 2-wheel drive as opposed to 4-wheel drive is a choice only you can make. And obviously, the Navara has got a reputation of being tough, of being a luxury bucky. Wait till you see inside. It certainly lives up to the luxury bucky legend and name as well. Overall, we'll check it out on the road, on some dirt roads, doing a little bit of rough roading, shall we call it, and the inside just now. Thing about this PRo-2X is it may be front wheel drive only with a diff-lock, of course, which helps, but the suspension, this is a really bad piece of farm road, and I can tell you, yes, you'll get bounced, obviously any vehicle would, but it certainly handles it very well, copes very nicely, and does seriously well on this road. And actually, I can tell you, I'm getting bounced around a lot less than a lot of other vehicles that I've experienced in similar conditions. So I've got to say, I mean, I'm doing sort of 40 k's an hour now down this piece of road, which is certainly not a good piece, and it handles it really, really well. Obviously, if you're going to do roads like this all the time, I would suggest you go for the PRo-4X version rather, and get the full-on four-wheel drive like I drove on the launch. And let me tell you, that can 4x4 as you want it to, and really make all the difference if that's what you are looking for. So it's a case of what usage are you going to put your vehicle to, and then you can decide which version you really want and which version suits you best, and of course it's going to suit your budget the best. That's so important too. Taking a look behind the wheel as always, look at that, 8.6 litres per 100. But the important figures to look at when you take that in context is we've now done 641 kilometers on this test. Dirt roads, farm roads, open road, cruising, load, town driving. Boy, we've done it all. This really is a good test, and it really shows. And also note over there on that side there, this vehicle's only now done 1,088 kilometers. It's still brand new. So this mileage has been done with a fairly tight engine. Good to keep in mind. You've of course got everything you want on the instrument panel. I'm not going to go through all the screens. You know what they like. I don't have to show you those. You've got of course your active cruise control over here on Pro level, which is a good thing to have on the Pro spec. And of course, I'm trying to see if I can get the camera to show you a couple of interesting things. That little button there is the one that opens the center of the rear window to the back. Quite an interesting one. And of course you have got a DSC button to switch off if you're crazy enough to try it. Let's not even go there. Coming to the driver's door handle over here, locking buttons over there, and I'm going to have my gripe again, because again this does not lock on pull off, and I don't like that. I'm sorry, Nissan, you really should have that on this vehicle. On any vehicle in South Africa, where is the auto lock on pull off? Just to me, really a requirement. Come across to the center fascia and the center console now, and you have a look and you'll see very neat air vents at the top over here, down to this lovely big 8-inch screen, which gives you absolutely everything, including navigation, which I do always like. And there you can see everything you want. It's all over there, and it's all very, very simple and easy. Your info over there. I don't even have to tell you. Something very interesting on the navigation on this vehicle that I found was it is a live navigation system. So for example, every time near the farm, as I approached a dirt road, it actually gave me a warning and said, caution, approaching unpaved road. I thought that was quite nice and interesting. Down over here, your dual zone climate control. Again, effective, works nicely. Don't have to say too much about that. Below that, you've got a 12-volt socket there. That is your rear diff lock. And a USB over there, below it. So, interesting features here as well. What I did find strange was the little spots over here. None of them quite fit my phone. Or my phone didn't quite fit the slots. You can put it any which way you want. But just something that I found a little bit strange, interesting, call it what you want. Your gear shift over here, your very old traditional style, simply down, park, reverse, as you can see. And if you really want manual override, no flappy pedals on this vehicle, simply a Tiptronic for plus and up and down shifts, which I never ever even used. But just going back to the center screen quickly, the one nice feature again over here is, look here, you've got your reverse camera and you've got the overhead camera as well. Both of them nice. The typical Nissan overhead camera as well. So you've really got both features giving you lots of safety and maneuverability, and the ability to know where you're going and see where you're going in a big long vehicle of this sort. Just coming back to the fascia over here, you can see it is plastic, but it feels, I can tell you, after 600 kilometers and a lot of dirt roads and everything, very solid, very nicely put together. 7 airbags in the Navara, by the way. There's an interesting little extra storage spot over here on either side of the center console, which is quite interesting. And talking about on the side of the console, another picky point that I have to mention, which we won't be able to show you on the camera right now, but this has to be the first automatic bigger vehicle I've driven in a long, long time that does not have a left foot footrest, especially an automatic, where I kept trying to work out where should I put my left foot, and I must say I missed that. There's a strange little omission by Nissan on it. Anyway, You've got, of course, your cup holders over there, traditional old-fashioned handbrake. And in here, under the armrest, very useful, and I use this, you've got a 12 volt, you've got a USB and a quick charge, all in there as well, and another quick charge USB behind for the rear seat. So you've certainly got all of those and lots of connectivity points, which is important. Of course, being the Top-X PRo-2X version, note we've got full leather trim, stitching, contrasting stitching in white with a little bit of red detailing as well along the way, ISOFIX in the rear, and again, you're not going to see it from the camera position, but you have got aircon vents just behind the armrest over there for rear seat passengers. So you've got all of those features as well. And just show the back window for a second, and there you can see what I was talking about with that one that opens and closes over there. Well, the Navaras are all powered by a 2.5 litre 4-cylinder diesel engine, and in the upper spec versions it puts out 140 kilowatts and 450 newton meters of torque. This is the top spec. I've repeated myself a number of times. You get PRo-2X, you get PRo-4X. The question is, do you need 4-wheel drive or don't you? And that's a choice only you can make. I can tell you nothing whatsoever was lacking with 2-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive, of course, on the dirt roads that I traveled over the last 2 days. It didn't really matter to me, but I didn't try and take this up the mountain, for example. So that's a choice you must make. It's going to come down to money, isn't it? What's this one cost? 686,000 Rand, 740 for the same spec vehicle with 4-wheel drive. Well, 54,000 Rand's a lot of money, but if you're going to use it, it's cheap the price, isn't it? Of course, you get the Nissan 6-year, 150,000 kilometer warranty, and you get a 4-year service plan with us as well, all thrown into the deal. With all the new double cabs that have been launched lately, the Navara was a very popular choice. It got a bit old. It certainly needed the new version. Well, this new version is up there with the rest and with the best. I can say that much for it. For Motor Matters, I'm Alan R. I'll see you next time.